New Zealand's a small country, a small island with big intimidations.
Freedom, green, nature. With a month and a half ahead of us, we wanted to sample as much climbing as we could. We started with the most famous place, Flock Hill.
When you walk up the hill to Flock Hill and you see all these boulders, it's just a maze of rocks. It really is like you turn the corner and you're immediately lost, and you try to retrace your steps and you find a new boulder problem. The interesting part about Flock Hill is that there is no guidebook and somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 boulder problems established. Find a picture of a boulder problem and then wander through Flock Hill and try to find that picture and then try to climb that boulder. And if you can't find it, just climb something because it'll challenge you in some way, and not knowing the grade is maybe even more fun than knowing the grade.
Bouldering in Flock Hill was special because it's limestone and we're not used to it, and it's a limestone with not a lot of features. It's more about textures and sensation on the rock. We sampled a lot of boulders and one of them pops out. It's called Green Hornet. It's V9 and it was very beautiful because it involved a lot of different movements and footwork.
Next door to Flock Hill is Spittle and Quantum. Those are two zones that are right next to each other, and that's kind of where all the climbing began in Castle Hill. And it's just an old school, gritty, hard climbing. Like, you have to work hard for every grade, no matter what it is. I just thought of it as like the limestone version of font. There's not just Castle Hill bouldering in New Zealand. There's also a place called Mount Cook.
We went to Mount Cook not to climb the highest mountain of New Zealand, but to do some bouldering in the base, which were settled in a beautiful valley and beautiful environment with the view on the mountains, a lot of greens, and the river raging next to the boulders.
The Dude Incredible boulder was a pretty unique boulder just sitting in the middle of the trail. And there was a low start to a stand start that was still a project. We were able to clean up that project and call it Dude Incredible Sit Start. Pretty unique name.
So we just got back to our campsite and our tent is missing. Is that it?
That's the craziest thing.
This is a tent stake and a water pipe, I believe. Yeah, we were trying to do the good thing and stake our tent down because it blew away earlier. And look what we get.
On our second day, we went to a boulder that the locals called the Green Monster. They had it on their map, but they haven't climbed it yet. For a few hours, we cleaned the base of the boulders and holes in the boulders, and then we put up the first essence of the Green Monster that we rated V9.
It's Christmas Eve, y'all. Merry Christmas.
Our next destination was for some sport climbing in the Durif all the way to the south of the island. So that involved a lot of driving and time in the car.
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd wanted you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd wanted you to shade me and be my leaf.
Best way to see New Zealand is in a car and probably in a tent. And that's what we did for a month and a half. And it was always an exciting day to jump in the car and go, all right, we're gonna go to this place, but let's zigzag our way there and see what we can see. Within a 4-hour drive, we would see
Rainforests, oceans, beaches, mountains, glaciers, all that in only a half a day driving.
Once you reach Milford Sound, you're off-grid. No Wi-Fi, no cell phones.
You don't go to Milford Sound for the touristy attractions or nightlife restaurants. You just go there to admire the beauty of the wilderness and of the fjords, and also for the climbing. We climbed in a sector called Little Babylon, and the approach to it was one of a kind. It was a 30-40 minute hike, pretty much on a tree. At some point, out of nowhere, the cliff bends appears behind the trees, and you arrive at the base, which has a nice little garden, a hammock, and it felt instantly a very peaceful place to just hang out. We had as much time as we wanted here, which was very cool because we could just sample a lot of routes of the sector. Moi 6, 7C.
No Country for Old Men, 8A. Hercules, 8A, sandbag.
Cyrus the Great, 8A+.
Xerxes, 8A+.
The Giving Tree, 8B.
Colossus,
Colossus,
8C.
8C.
Sending Colossus 8C was a really happy ending to our trip here in Little Babylon, and it was time for us to move on to the next adventure. Before coming to New Zealand, we've never heard or seen pictures about Little Babylon and climbing the Darns, and we'd have to say that it's absolutely a must-go if you come and climb in New Zealand.
Summiting mountains is definitely not like our thing, I guess. Like, we do it, but we don't do it to break records. We do it to just challenge ourselves and to maybe learn something about ourselves or learn something more about climbing. And Mount Aspiring taught us a lot.
Mountaineering is important for me because it almost came before climbing when I was really young. And this trip was a good opportunity to just explore another aspect of the world and take advantage of it to just also climb mountains.
We have 24 kilos back and we're about to start day 1 of hike to Mount Aspiring. See you later.
Mount Aspiring was not such a technical climb, even if it involved some alpine climbing with glacier and ridge crossing and face climbing, putting crampons on. But it was definitely quite challenging in a way that it lasted 4 days to go up at 3,000 meters.
And we're at our little hut. It's quite a bivvy. Good night. See everyone tomorrow.
Good morning.
And we're off like a turd of hurdles. We're in a fog cloud again. We are still searching for the right trail. This officially sucks. We tried a couple different ways to go through, and they all failed.
As soon as we got into the valley, we saw our big slab, and we immediately convinced each other that that was the slab we had to go up the next day. And in reality, it was a hidden slab at the end of the valley around a corner. And yeah, we were lost and a little bit scared for a while until a little patch of fog cleared and we could find our bearings and realize that we were on the wrong slab.
We learned afterwards that we have to control our emotions a little bit and maybe analyze the landscape a bit more. The good thing is it worked. We still made it.
You can see the hut. The hut is in distance.
We were not psyched for waking up very early the morning after, but luckily for us, when we had the alarm at 1 a.m. it was way too windy outside, so a lot of people in the hut had a delayed start, so we took advantage of it and slept in.
3:15. We're going for the summit. It's up there. In the clouds. First rebel.
Just crossed the ridge, came up some slab, did some climbing. Here's Charlotte.
We eventually made it to the summit of Mount Aspiring, and it was an experience that I'm happy I had, and I'm happy that we did, and I'm looking forward to the next summit in our trip.
A nice anecdote about the day we summit is that when we come back to the hut, our 3 friends were already here and they bought some water for us, so when we arrived we just had to put the feet under the table where there were people sleeping, and Josh and I just ate quietly looking at the summit going into dark with the moon rising. When we got to the car, it's so rewarding and we knew that it was gonna make some never-ending memories.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Our next stop on a World Less Traveled tour is Tasmania. Really looking forward to all the adventures there, and looking forward to the epics we'll have as well.
Yeah, you know, this trip is called A World Less Traveled, and we're so happy that we're able to go in Little Babylon in the fjord, and we were able to climb Mount Aspiring, and it's things that we're not as used to and that we never heard about. So it's so cool that we could make it real, and we're super excited to just keep on going with the trip and do more of this.